in this space, I think. I think that around this time last year, very few of us knew what this time would hold. And so I'm just very grateful, and I'm taking each moment as it comes, and I hope that we can enjoy it together, continue with that. So this piece that I'm reading is actually excerpted from a novel that I submitted as part of my master's thesis for an MFA that I did in New York. I graduated in 2015, so it's been a little while. But this excerpt is actually a chapter, so it's titled Yemoa, and I'm going to stand as I read it. Who here is familiar with Yemoa? Anyone? Okay. So Yemoa is the Yoruba goddess. She's like considered a deity of like the water. And so part of the Yoruba people, so this is West African Nigerian ethnic group, to which our parents, this is my sister Joy, our parents belong. We have historically are sort of very similar to Greek, right? A pantheon of gods. So the god of fire, Shango, right? You might be familiar because a lot of it has made its way sort of to the west through, some history. But so Yemoa is, I'll just start reading, and maybe you'll get enough of the story to make your own associations. So it's set in 1978. For almost as long as Sunday Bola had lived, 30 years since this past February, he knew 3 things about his father. That Jobola was mercurial, impossible to pin down, and that as soon as anyone grew confident, foolish enough to believe they could outsmart Jobola, they would find themselves fumbling as Joe the trickster proved just how very little they understood about the world. Joe was adept at slipping through fingers, formless, intangible as air. The other thing was that being too intimidated, people rarely confronted Jobola. It was this spirit-like quality of Jobola that led his son to believe the stories about his sudden appearances in the bushes, about his sudden appearance in the bushes of Loriokuta in 1911. Like Oduduwa, Jobola had seemed to drop straight out of the sky. Then came 6 weeks of the heaviest rain the town had ever seen. Jobola himself, a founding myth, was like a founding myth, but also a living man. Looking at his father's face, the patch on Jobola's eye, Sunday knew the stories were true. He also knew that his father had not expected, or perhaps hadn't even wanted, his son's life to amount to much. Strictly because Sunday was an appendage to a doomed love story and a living reminder of loss. But Sunday spent his life pushing against that expectation, which made their father-son differences irreconcilable. Differences down to the genes. Even as father and son, they seemed to be 2 distinct races of men. Of course, on the surface, that was obvious. Jobola demanded change down to a pence. Sunday Bola gave abundantly. Jobola hoarded. Sunday Bola, an embodiment of parsimony itself, kept only what he needed for basic comfort. Jobola had a fiery temper. Sunday Bola would sooner skip a few meals than raise conflict he could avoid. Sunday had always felt deeply different from Jobola, but he was never indifferent to him. That's why the sudden news he received in March of 1978 sent him into a panic. A woman who called herself Master Bola's maid rung him up on the phone. "Who is this?" she asked. It was the first thing she said after Sunday said hello. "Sunday? And sorry, who's calling?" "Sa, this is Master Bola's maid speaking." So his father had another house girl. Every month they came and went, which wasn't surprising. But Sunday didn't know why she was calling him master. "Sorry to disturb you, but your father is not feeling well." Sunday wondered about the impeccability of her English, the sure tone of the words that tumbled easily out of her mouth. "Sunday," she continued, "I say you are due for a visit." Sunday paused for a moment, tugging the phone cord between his fingers, then drawing a deep breath before saying, "Tell me what is happening." The other day someone saw your father holding a gun on the roundabout of Eniboko Road. 2 weeks ago, he was selling his cameras. Just now, someone found him sitting in the bush. Sunday pinched his jaw. What bush? Who found him? Never mind, just come. Wait for me, I will be there. The woman knew but did not tell Sunday that Jobola had spent the past week roaming Eniboko Road, the main thoroughfare, using a rifle as a walking stick. Just yesterday afternoon, he'd planted himself at the center of a four-way stop, waving his gun, a weapon so old the National Museum of Lagos had sought it out for their personal collection, and yelling for all within earshot to hear, "You want to know the man? Then here is the man." With the musical tonality of Yoruba and the high elocution of Queen's English, he told them just how he felt. "I will show you the man." Stop.